I wondered if many people passed through the village. I gave the boy a small tip and paid the deposit to the father. I was told that I could pay for the food and the room when I left. The father showed me a fish inside a bucket filled with ice. "Baby shark," he said. We were still kilometers away from the sea, from the fishing boats, from where pearl hunters dive down deep, holding their breath for minutes at a time. When I asked where the fish was from, the father laughed, curling his thick lips, showing his missing front teeth. An hour later, the father gutted the fish in front of me. Stray dogs circled, hoping to get something. The father added wood to the fire, boiled the fish inside a pot. I watched the sons and the father around the fire before going to my room, their faces red in the firelight. The boy brought me my dinner on a metal tray, showed me my futon. He pushed his drooling baby brother out of the room and shut the door. The baby kept crying and scratching the door from the other side like a cat. There was no fork to eat with. The fish was served with yellow rice. I remember the father's hands gutting the fish, the wounded backs of the cows. The aroma of the spices filled the room. I took several bites, using my hands to eat, but couldn't eat much. I washed my hands in the bowl of water in the corner of the room. I opened the door and pushed the tray outside, then quickly shut the door to keep the little boy out. The bedsheets smelled of camphor. I was anxious that I wouldn't be able to sleep despite being tired. I was sensitive to new places, new smells. My sleeping had been worse since I stopped drinking. My neck was sore from the long drive and spending the previous night in the sleeping bag. I craved a hot shower. The boy had suggested that he could bring me some hot water to wash myself, but it wasn't the same as a shower. I didn't feel good about using their limited fresh water. I took a muscle relaxant and a sleeping pill, gulped the pills down with some water. I didn't know how long it took me to go to sleep. In my sleep, I heard laughter. I woke up, or I thought I did. I felt the laughter getting closer, as if it was merely coming from inside my head. I tried to scream. I woke up drenched in sweat, my mouth dry, like I'd been eating sand. Outside, the sound of drums. The flames of a fire lit the room through the window. I drank water from a clay cup left by my side. I left my futon and opened the door. In the other room, the boy and his brothers were asleep on the floor beside their mother. The father's futon was empty, but traces of his body were visible on the sheets. I tiptoed through their bodies, left the house, and walked toward the fire. They hit their drums. Bamboo sticks cut the hot air. Men wearing white clothes moved their bodies to the sound. They circled a man on his knees. Women in veils looked like crows with metal beaks. One of them carried a plate of burning charcoal. Her right hand circulated the smoke, distributed it among the crowd. Platters with bowls of rosewater, wild rue, dates around the fire. The woman sprinkled rosewater on the sitting man's face, rubbed ash on his forehead. The boy's father was standing among the other people. He held a chicken by its neck, a machete in his other hand. The smell of wild rue and incense. Blood splashing, spilling into rosewater. I sat on the sand, several meters away from the crowd. They dipped their bamboo sticks in blood. "People of the wind," they sang. They threw a white cloth over the sitting man's head and struck their drums. "When a body is sick," they sang. "When the soul is weak." The drums bit harder. A man blew into his pipe. "The wind is waiting. They ride on the winds. They come from the sea." The man convulsed under the cloth. When he started to scream, the drum stopped. His scream made something thump inside my ears. The boy's father drew the cloth away from the man's face, held the man's head in both his hands, stared at his eyes. He pulled the man's neck toward himself and hit him in the back with his stick. "Leave," the father shouted. "Leave us," he whispered. When the man stopped convulsing, the father caressed his head. The father walked around, looking into everybody's eyes, sprinkling water on their faces. "Beware of the south winds," he said when he came by my side. He rubbed the palm of his hand over my head. His hand was cold. All my body felt cold with his touch. He looked like a different person, not the same man who had served me fish hours back. In the morning, light slanted against a corner of the room. The smell of fresh bread rose from the oven. I didn't remember how I